first box.
What?
It's a what box. What they're looking for is a trusted relationship with you. The how box is, now we're talking about a problem. Now you're into the problem. How will this product, how will this location, how will this benefit you? So you gotta have a script for how it benefits. You've got to have a script for and what loss will they avoid. And you've got to have, all this can be one little script. See, if I were to come in here and say, let's write out a planned presentation, oh my God, because I did that for years. It's overwhelming. But if I come in and say, let's just put together a bunch of little scripts, and it's linking to get these scripts together, these one-piece little scripts that build a planned presentation. What loss will they avoid? And then how can you give them an added value? What else are you going to do? What is, again, going to differentiate you? There is getting a sale isn't luck. There's a real science to it. That doesn't mean that everybody who is successful in selling understands there's a science to it, but you guys are going to school. There is a science to this. It is important what you say, when you say it, how you say it, and more importantly, why you're saying it. Because we want to have that script. Now we have the action box. And everybody in sales thinks, well, that's the close. That's where I make money. Well, maybe not. I mean, and I understand what David says about you banging this before you move. It could be. But you're going to guide your client toward the action you predetermined you want them to take. And it will not always be a close. So if you're sure that by the time you get to this action box that you're supposed to close, you might have done a lot of good up to now, and then you just kicked your prospect in the groin with a close, which is not appropriate, because it may not be appropriate. So you're going to close the sale carefully by carefully introducing scarcity and urgency. Remember we talked about the railroad tracks, scarcity and urgency. We're back to that. How do you introduce, if you come on too much with urgency, well, this is going to be gone tomorrow. What do you think the average person is, what do you think they're going to think of you? Are they going to believe you?
Especially if it's been vacant for 3 years.
That too. So, it's carefully introducing the scarcity and urgency. Really the finesse, the most important thing, okay, think about a sales presentation like it was an airplane. And what are the most important parts of flying an airplane? Anybody here, by the way, can fly a plane. Anybody in this room can fly a plane. I mean, we're flying, and you're with a good pilot, and you're sitting in the co-pilot seat, and he says, you want to fly it. Have anybody ever done it?
I'd fly the shit out of it, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, well, okay. Yeah, and there'd be no problem. But what are the two most important parts of flying an airplane?
Taking off and landing.
There you go. This is where we are. So taking off is your compelling statement in the beginning, and then the landing is obviously where you close the sale. So everything else, has to appeal to what they're looking for, but it's a taking off and landing. Okay. Or you may not be prepared to close the sale. You may find you have to provide more information. And so that is all the reason in the world for them not taking action at that particular moment. Or you may make another property recommendation, back to what Phil said earlier, if that's more appropriate. Or you may have to have them do the research. And I remember the story that Sherry told in here one day about the fact that she and Joanna were working with some lady, and the lady really didn't know where the hell she was, but Sherry and Joanna reached out and said, hey, where's your business plan? Put together some business facts and come back in and let's work on your business. Help the people. And you can't tell. There's an expression called the hare, talking about a little rabbit. The hare can bring you the bear. If you go hunting and you follow enough rabbits, you're going to find somebody chasing that rabbit. So you want to do the same thing here. The deal that you're involved in may not be the big deal, but it's another client. And all clients have referral power. So that's what happens in the action box. So now, you've got to be able to break the preoccupation with your most compelling statement. And what is that most compelling statement? What do you think would be? Yes?
I have a question. What was the last bullet on that?
Recommend and create a business plan.
Okay, thanks.
I mean, they may be totally lost, but since you already got time invested with them, Mike, why throw it away? And if they don't know where they're going, if they're planning to do an exercise class in a depressed neighborhood, there's not too many people to be able to spend money on an exercise class. Okay, so break preoccupation with your most compelling statement. And that most compelling statement is what? I got the answer.
It's what differentiates you.
Exactly. You gotta start off with, that is the most, you are the difference. Why? Because they got plenty of options. And if you get this, I'm telling you right now, you'll fly. You'll begin to fly, and you'll just get better at it. And the more business you get, the better your statement is gonna be. So it's really.
And your biggest threat is the internet. People think that if they Google, they can find a property. They know as much or more than you because I saw it on the internet. Your value is, well, that ask could be $4, $5, $6 more than what the true number is or what the competition is. But in their mind, they think they're the expert too. So your market knowledge is your number one. If there's one thing that's going to differentiate, and sitting in this room or being in this office for 1 month and learning what's going on, differentiates and separates you from the competition. But you've got to build that trust to let them know internet isn't always Bible. There's additional information and, you know, what's CAM fees or CAM realistic, why, you know, taxes higher, what all those other variables that they don't know. All they're seeing is that pretty picture on the internet, and how do you overcome that?
Well, not only that, just to piggyback on that, but also to negotiate. A lot of times I've heard a couple other brokers say it, you know, they're like, I mean, if you drive by the site, I mean, help me look. I mean, that's not really where I get my value. My